Welcome to Libertex. Crude oil prices saw a bold jump in price in the second full trading week of April, nearly touching $64 a barrel on April 16th, before closing slightly lower at $63.13 a barrel. Since hitting $68 a barrel back in March, oil has been one of the more difficult and unpredictable trades going into April, with a great deal of choppiness, often trading between $58 a barrel and $60 a barrel until recently. In this updated crude oil price analysis video, we'll be breaking down the reasons behind the latest price jump for the commodity and why the latest rally is different from the ones that we've experienced so far in 2021. Make sure to stay until the end of the video for a look at the technical charts, and don't forget to hit the like button to support more of the latest content on the oil markets, as well as the biggest crypto movers, stocks, and updates that concern your trades. So without further ado, let's jump into the latest for crude oil. It's been a very interesting year for the crude oil market so far. If we examine how crude oil has traded since the start of the year, it's already delivered over a 40% gain after hitting highs in March, which is almost unheard of for a standard commodity. The sell-off that ensued leading into April was almost as dramatic, shedding around $9 in value until the move to the upside that came into effect most prominently on April 14th, when crude oil prices made a sharp 4% move to the upside, going from around $60 a barrel to just shy of $64 a barrel. The markets closed slightly lower on April 16th at $63.13 a barrel, which, if it can continue to hold these levels, could usher in greater price action towards March highs. The biggest catalyst that came into play to send oil prices soaring were the announcements that came out of both the International Energy Agency and the Organization of the Oil-Producing Countries, more commonly known as OPEC, that demand growth for oil looks positive, fueled by a large draw in the weekly government inventories report. Based on this, both agencies, the IEA and OPEC, revised their 2021 global oil demand growth forecasts to between 5.7 and 5.9 million barrels of oil per day. Further positive sentiment over the oil market came on Wednesday, April 14th, when the U.S. Energy Information Administration announced that crude oil stockpiles dropped by 5.9 million barrels, which was much larger than analyst expectations of around 2.9 million barrels. Other updates came this week that contributed to the strength of the move, including news that China's first quarter GDP increased by 18% year over year. The major move on April 15th also came on the heels of updated reports concerning US unemployment and retail sales, which revealed positive developments. The reports showed a drop in unemployment and an increase in sales. Then, in addition to the backdrop of positive developments, there is also the hype and excitement over reopening and vaccine progress, which has made impressive advancements in the US in particular. While there is still much uncertainty, particularly for European markets in this regard, the recent developments have certainly had a positive impact at this point in April for crude oil prices. On the other hand, larger than expected supply numbers that came out in March put a pause to some of this excitement. So the developments now being shown for April come as good news to anyone trading oil on the buyer's side. Let's now jump into the technical chart for crude oil to get a better understanding of the latest price movements and assess the nearest levels of support and resistance for crude oil with where we stand currently. Alright, we are now in the Libertex terminal looking at the technical chart for WTI crude oil. And just look at crude since the start of the year. The trend has definitely been on the upside, but definitely encountered some heavy selling in April. With all that has happened in the last week, is it only up from here? To get a better understanding, we have to keep in mind that oil has traded above 6% to the upside in the last week. Just look at the 3-month here. Up to 6% in the upside in the last week. So what we're seeing now may be a slight correction before we can realize another gain to the upside. As we start the trading week of April 19th, an increase in the coronavirus cases has made headway in India. This could partially be priced into the move to the downside that we're seeing right now, hovering right around $63 a barrel at the moment. From here, crude will need to retest the nearest level of resistance found at around $63.40, which was the high from several days ago, before being able to continue to retest the next level of resistance right around $64 from the swing high of April 16th. From here, oil will look to climb to the March 15th high of approximately $66.40 a barrel to realize a reversal from the selling that has taken place since the start of April. In terms of support, WTI crude is currently being propped up by the $62.60 level, which, if broken, could send prices back to the March 29th high of around $62.20. But really, a break from here would potentially trigger further selling. And the next strong level of support is a bit of a ways down, the February 9th low of $57.20 a barrel. The news of last week in regards to the uptick in the general demand for oil, combined with increasingly positive sentiment over the vaccine in North America, could potentially be enough to take prices back to the upside to continue the growth trend since the start of the year. But traders should consider setting stop losses to protect trades if planning on entering the buyer's market. How much more room could oil run? Let us know your price predictions and whether you think oil will continue back to higher territory, or if we're on the verge of a correction. Drop your thoughts in the comments to join the conversation with our community of traders and analysts. And if you're interested in trading WTI crude oil, Brent crude oil, or other commodities and more, Libertex has everything you need to get started. Simply head over to libertex.com or view the links in the description below to open up a free account without hassle and start trading completely free of charge with a demo account before opening up trades with real money if you'd like. We hope you enjoyed this latest crude oil update, and to support more of the latest content on the oil markets and beyond, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to stay sharp in your trading. We look forward to seeing you next time and wish you a great month in the markets.